Hi, this is Paul Palmer. Yesterday I was talking to you about the risks associated with shipping. And not just shipping, but also supply chains in general. So today I want to talk about one of those potential opportunities. So you ship by sea. Now many people think, oh, well, we need to get it there quick, so let's do it by air. Well, that's really because they haven't planned their supplies. And maybe they haven't got enough stock. But then you also need to consider the risks of shipping by air. What happens if it's left on the tarmac? Your pharmaceutical products could get to 40, 50. I've seen as high as 70 degrees C from products that are left in the shipping. It's not really a shipping dock. It's not a shipping container, is it? It's just a pallet out on the tarmac waiting to go. And maybe, I remember one investigation, we found out somehow that it had actually been left behind the jet engine when the plane was starting. No, I have absolutely no idea how we found out, but interesting. It's always interesting to investigate the deviations, the shipping, the temperature excursions during the transit. Now, when you come to ship by sea, you have to bear in mind that the product that you will be sending will be inside a container. You can see in the picture behind me the sealed containers that are in use. But what else do you need to consider? Well, the container's closed, so you shouldn't really have any influence from outside. But maybe there might be. Maybe one of them's got rusty in the corner and you've got a risk. Maybe you'll get some humidity in there. Or maybe you're actually loading it into the shipping container on the dock. Well, if that's the case, so you've sent it by lorry, it goes to the dock, and at the dock there's high humidity because it's already near the water. So then you introduce high humidity into your shipping container. The shipping container is closed and you've not got more water coming in. But if it's already high humidity in there, is that going to affect your product? Now, if you've got a tablet and it's enclosed in aluminium foil, then it's unlikely. But what if it's in aluminium PVC? Is that going to make a difference? What if your product's a capsule? Is that more risk, less risk? Is it more susceptible if it's a soft gel capsule rather than hard gel capsule? And what if you're shipping something else? Maybe you're shipping a cream, an ointment. If it's in plastic, has that got a higher susceptibility to moisture than one that's in aluminium? Something that you have to check, something you have to test. So when you're doing your risk assessment, the chances are you're not going to be able to just do it. You'll have to send some product. You'll have to monitor the humidity, monitor the temperature, put your product onto stability and test it once it's got there. But if you want to increase the challenge, maybe you want to ship it one way and ship it back again. I always think that it's better to have a higher challenge than when you're doing your routine shipping, because then you can get some confidence in the controls that you've put in place. When I was in I could call it my first job, but it's not really my first job. Well, this was with my first company. I used to validate the sterilization cycles. Now, one of the things you do with a validation cycle is you look at the D value. That's the 50% death rate of the biological indicators, the bacteria that you've put into your load. So you put it into your chamber and you want to know, I suppose, how dead the bacteria are. Seems a bit of a strange way to put it. But you put in 10 to the 6. So you put in 1 million organisms. It's not exactly 1 million. It's 10 to the power of 6. Because that's how you work in microbiology. You often don't work to actual 1, 2, 3, 4. Because who's going to count 1 million organisms? Not me, that's for sure. So we used to look at a partial kill. Now, with some cycles, it was really hard to get a partial kill because the warm-up period even would kill all the bacteria, including the spores. But that's the same principle. So you want to know that you've got a partial kill. So then you know how much you've overdone it so that you know you've got the control in place. Now, if you're doing a shipping trial, you want to make sure not just that your standard shipment's going to be okay, but if something goes wrong slightly, because inevitably something will sometimes. So you ship it one way and you ship it back again. Now, if you're going to do that, make sure you maintain the high humidity conditions when it's shipped back, because you might find that the location you ship to is not as high as the origination location. Measure your humidity, measure your temperature, test your product when it gets back. And I would always recommend doing at least 6 months stability. Now, after the 6 months, if that's comparable with the original, then that's fine. But if it's not, maybe you want to be looking at your full shelf life. Maybe you want to make sure that your actual shipping conditions are not having a detrimental impact on your product that stops it working. Especially if you're thinking of shipping from somewhere like India or China. I doubt whether you'd be shipping from Australia because that's quite a rare source. Maybe you're shipping from America. But you want to make sure that the shipping doesn't mean that your product at the end of the route is no longer viable. It's no longer efficacious. It doesn't do the job anymore. Okay, so I hope that helps. Talk to you soon. That's Paul Palmer.